Hi divas. As you can see, I am dolled up to the nines today. And where am I going, may you ask? Absolutely nowhere. Honestly, I've just finished doing a week-long TikTok competition and I'm feeling so burnt out and gross and all I want to do is bed rot. But I was like, no, that's the absolute worst thing that I could do for myself. So I'm gonna force myself to get up and put on a full face of makeup. Even if I don't actually go anywhere or do anything, at least I can get some videos where I'm looking glamorous for once. And in my bed rotting bonanza, I actually started watching Stranger Things. I mentioned this briefly in my last video and how I have tried to watch this show about 10 times, but I've just never ever been able to get past episode 1. It just hasn't hooked me until now. But I'm genuinely really enjoying it. I was up till 5 in the morning last night watching it, and I am literally playing and pausing the final episode of season 4 as I am filming this video. I've gone for a little bit of a Nancy look with my hair today. Safe to say it's my fixation of the week. But anyway, I didn't actually want to talk about Stranger Things. Well, it kind of ties in. It very much ties in. What I actually wanted to talk about was David Harbour. So unless you've been literally living under a rock for this past week, you will have seen or heard or read about Lily Allen's new album. I imagine everybody knows who Lily Allen is, but if you don't, I would just give you a quick briefing. She is a British pop star who was really big in the sort of 2010s, I think, the 2000s, and she had massive hits like The Fear, Smile, It's Not Fair, basically all the songs that I grew up with. Now, after so many years in the limelight, it almost seems like she decided to take a step back and make a bit more of a quieter life for herself. I remember watching a documentary years ago about her having a really intense stalker who actually ended up, but I think, like, don't quote me on this because I might have it a little bit wrong, but from what I remember, this guy almost became like obsessed with her, and he kept going to her concerts and holding up signs at the back saying, I wrote The Fear. He was like claiming that he wrote one of her most famous songs, and he was like infatuated. He kept sending letters and stuff like that, and eventually he did actually find her address and break into her house. And whether that's what scared her into taking a step back from the limelight, I don't know, but anybody with that amount of fame has an immense amount of pressure on them at all times, and if that was the reason, then I fully get it, honestly. In 2019, Lily was publicly spotted with rising actor David Harbour, who is best known for portraying Hopper in Stranger Things. God, that was a tongue twister of a sentence to get out. I had to memorise that like 20 times. They got married in 2020 and she moved her whole life and her 2 children from her previous marriage over to New York to live with David. And as far as the general public were concerned, everything was great. Their marriage was happy. No problems. Until the start of this year, when tabloids started to report that Lily had spent Christmas alone and speculation started that they might have split. There was also lots of unconfirmed talk online about Lily receiving professional help and being seen on the dating app Raya again, which is, I think, where she actually met David. But very important to stress that nothing was actually being confirmed at this time and everything went a little bit silent. Until now. Now you're up to speed on the history. Fast forward to the 24th of October 2025, when after 7 years of not releasing any music, Lily Allen randomly drops the most brutal, blunt album of all time, West End Girl. And it's pretty much just a tell-all of their entire relationship. It's so juicy, I can't even tell you. If you've not heard it, go and listen to it now. I was not that interested in listening to it. Not that I have anything against Lily Allen at all. Like, I grew up with her music. I think she's great. She's so real. She's so authentic. I love that she just says what she thinks. She is a true British icon. But what I mean is I'm just not a super fan. And then my friend Christine started texting me relentlessly saying, you have to listen to this album, please. If there's one thing that you do today, listen to this album. You won't regret it. It is like a good book that you can't put down. So I gave in to her harassment and threats, and I was just going about my nightly business, brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed. And I put this album on. I said to Christine, look, I'll give it a few songs. My concentration's not very good, so I'll give it a few songs, but don't be offended if I turn it off. I could not turn this shit off. I was the whole time, like from song 1, I was just like, did she really just out him for that? I'm going to read you some of the lyrics from this album. I didn't know it was your palace, 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 palace. I always thought it was a dojo. Dojo, dojo. So, am I looking at a sex addict, sex addict. Addict. Talk about a low blow, low blow. Oh no. How long has it been going on? Is it just sex or is there emotion? He told me it would stay in hotel rooms, never be out in the open. Lie to me, babe, and I'll end you. Although she doesn't name the man in question throughout this album, it's pretty obvious. I have to say allegedly and all of that just in case, but the internet has surmised that this is about her soon-to-be ex-husband. Are they divorced already? I don't think they are divorced already. They're probably going through the process. So yeah, the internet's picked apart this album and everybody has basically come to the conclusion, theorised, that it's a story about a married couple. She uproots her whole life, takes her children and everything she owns overseas to go and be with him and live with him. She then gets a brilliant job offer back in London and has to fly back over to the UK for a period of time to work. The husband then uses this opportunity to suggest an open marriage where he can have his needs met while the wife is away from home. But it's all right because he says you're allowed to do this too. The wife does not want this at all. She loves him. She's totally committed to him. But in her mind, if she disagrees, he's going to leave anyway. So she agrees to it to keep him. But she says there's got to be rules to it if we're going to do this because I'm not happy about it, but it'll make it even worse if it's somebody we know or somebody that you're likely to develop an emotional connection to. It has to be strangers. And I also think there was some mention about it had to be paid, but don't quote me on that either. Husband just chooses to ignore this and proceeds to have relations with various women, and wife is left not really knowing whether he does have emotional connections to these women. She is suspicious that they're people that he knows as well. She was never happy about it in the first place. It's complicated, it's messy. If that's what happened, what a dickhead move. He's betrayed her, he's humiliated her. So she's gone away and then returned and clapped back at him 10 times harder. I would pay good money to watch that man walk onto the set of Stranger Things the next day after this album dropped and just see everybody's faces. I will just say 99% of me is with you all in being appalled and disgusted. But the other 1% has just finished watching Stranger Things Series 4. Well, very close to finishing it. And it's so hard to separate the character from the actual person. I know nothing about the actual person. I don't know him. I'm only going off this album and somebody else's word. But the actual character that he plays in Stranger Things is so cute towards the end of it. It's such a moral battle. Now, there's so much of this story that I haven't covered in this video, like all the discourse on TikTok about Madeline and the fact that Miss Girl has gone out for Halloween dressed as Madeline, but that is purely because I haven't done my own research yet and I need to do more of a deep dive into it before I say anything else because I'm probably going to remember it wrong and it will be incorrect. But I just wanted to cover the basics for you guys who had no idea about any of the tea. I am going to do some more research now. Love and light, Amy Alex.